Hello guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So today I am going to be teaching you how to make this simple but very classy feathered fascinator. Yeah, it's something you can make yourself at home. It's beginner friendly because I'm going to be teaching it in 4 very simple steps. So you do not need to be experienced to be able to make this fascinator, right? And so guys, if you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel, what are you waiting for? Kindly subscribe to our YouTube channel, guys, please. And don't forget to turn on your notification bell so that you can be notified whenever we post a new video. So guys, so let's get into it immediately without wasting much of your time. So the first step is to place our hairband on the mannequin, right? You place your Alice band on the mannequin and make sure it's sitting well, right? And then we're trying to get the point where we would attach our fascinator base to the Alice band. Now, you want it to sit perfectly. You don't want it to be too high up or too much to the side, right? You want it to sit perfectly on your Alice band, okay? So we are going to take our measurements now. First of all, we'll take the full measurement of the Alice band, the full circumference of the Alice band, right? And most of them are usually 14, okay? Most of them are usually 14, yeah? So you can see this one is 14 as well, right? Good. So we are now going to measure, we're now going to subtract 6 from 14, and that gives us 8. Okay? So whatever Alice band you're using, just subtract 6 from whatever you get. Okay? So we are going to measure 8 because 14 minus 6 is 8, right? And that brings us to 3/4 of the hairband. Okay, so we are going to mark that point. You see, so your fascinator is not going to be sitting at the top like a cap or something, and it's not going to be to the side like a side band or so. So it's just going to be sitting in between and perfectly. So from the point you marked 8, you measure 5, right? So from the point you marked 8, you measure 5 and then mark it. So from this point to this point should be 5, right? So I'm just double checking to make sure that my 5 is I marked the point correctly. So that's 5. I'm still going to mark it, right? I'm still going to mark it so that I don't make any mistakes at all, right? So you must ensure that you have this small space left after you've marked your 5, okay? That gives you a place to hold your fascinator when you're trying to put it on, right? So I'm just going to, after marking out, I'm just going to place my fascinator on the Alice band again, the point I marked out, to be sure that I got it right. Yeah, so you see how it's sitting perfectly. Yeah, it's not completely to the side and it's not sitting on top. It's just sitting perfectly in between. Okay, right? So next is that we are going to get the point on our fascinator base where we would attach it to the Alice band. To get this measurement, we would need to turn our fascinator over, okay? We'll turn the inside part of our fascinator, and then we'll be measuring the head bowl inside. Yeah, so this is the head bowl, and that's where we would be measuring. Remember this particular fascinator, the flipped side of the fascinator base is going to be at the back when we finish this fascinator, right? You see, this fascinator has a flip side and then a flat side. You see, this side is flipped up, right? And you see, this side is flat on the table. So the flipped side, when you're placing your fascinator on the mannequin, this flipped side should be to the back for this particular design, okay? So it's going to be at the back like this, okay? So yeah, so it's going to be at the back, right? While the other flat surface is going to be in front. The flat part is going to be in front, while the flip side will be at the back, okay? Right, so we're going to measure the inside bowl of our fascinator right now, the head bowl. And most times for this particular fascinator base, which is 30 cm, it's usually 7, right? So the inside is usually 7, right? So we have 7, okay? And so we're going to get the midpoint of this 7. The midpoint is 3.5 or 3.5. Okay, so we're trying to get the midpoint right now. So we measure, and then the midpoint is 3.5. Yeah, so let's confirm that. So you can see it is 3.5. So the midpoint is 3.5, and so we're going to mark that point, okay? Because that's the point where we are going to attach our fascinator to the Alice band, okay? Yeah, so you don't want the fascinator to be sitting one side. So it's time for us to attach our feathers to our fascinator base. And so what I normally use to attach the feathers to the fascinator base is the candle glue, right? Yeah, I always prefer to use the candle glue because first of all, it dries really fast, and then my feathers don't fall off after a while, okay? So it just sits in place for as long as I want it, so it doesn't fall off, right? So we're going to be using these feathers for our fascinators, right? So we're going to start with this one, then this one, this two, right? Before we now attach this one, okay? So what do? We place this here, place this. Remember, this flip side is to the back and our feathers are in front. So what I normally do is, because I want this to come out a bit in front, I don't make it sit right inside the fascinator base. I bring it out as much as I want it to come out, like this, right? So it appears like this when you put on the fascinator. So I place this here. I like to position my feathers before I start applying my gum, okay? Right, so this one goes here as well. I like them to come out in front. So I'm positioning this here as well, right? So this one, it's the same as the other one. I just like my fascinator to look rich. Yeah, so that's it. So it appears like this in front when you're done with your fascinator. So that's it. So once you have positioned your first feathers, right? Once you have positioned your first feathers, you apply your candle glue on it, right? Yeah, you apply your candle glue on it. Make sure your feathers are in place before you apply your glue, right? Okay, so I'm trying to ensure my feathers are in place, and then I apply my glue. Apply as much as possible to hold your feathers in place, please. Once I'm done applying my glue on this first set of feathers, I would attach one of my fabric roses to cover it. Okay guys, so we're done with the first set of feathers, and then I'm just going to, because when you attach your feathers, you can see here is not attached. I just pick one of the inner feathers here and just pin it down with my candle glue. So I'm just going to take one of the inner feathers. I choose to use this one, and so I'm just going to apply very little candle glue here, and then press it down with the inner feather. And as you can see, it's now, see, the feather is no more dangling about, it's now in place. Okay, so we'll go next. We're going to attach our second feather, right? So this second feather comes down a bit lower than the first feather, right? Yeah, so attaching our second feather now. So I'm just placing the candle glue first, and then bring it a bit lower than the first one. A bit lower than the first one. I'm applying more candle glue because of my rose, and so I'm going to attach my fabric rose now. That's the second fabric rose. Right, so that's it. You can see how beautiful our fascinator is turning out. Right, so we're going to do the same thing we did with the first feather, so that the feather sits in place. So we don't want it dangling like this, so we're going to attach glue somewhere in here. We're going to apply glue somewhere in here and take one of the inner feathers and stick it to the glue so that the feather sits in place, right? Okay, so I'm going to look for an inner feather. So I choose this one in here. So I'm going to apply a bit of candle gum and then stick my feather to it. This keeps this entire feather in place, and so it's not dangling here and there. All right, so lastly, we're going to apply our glue, our last fabric rose. Here, I love to use 3 roses because I love my fascinator to look rich. All right, so we're done attaching all our feathers and roses. Yeah, that's how easy it is. See how beautiful our fascinator looks. So next, we're going to attach it to, here. See, that's how beautiful. Remember where we marked on our Alice band, this point and this point, this point and this point. Remember, it's time now to use it, right? So and then remember our midline on our fascinator. So you place the midline on the fascinator where you marked the Alice band. So that's it. That's where, that's how it's going. So I'm applying the candle glue right now to the places where I marked out on the fascinator, right? applying candle glue there right now. Yeah, from the top to the end of the mark, right? And then after that, I will place my fascinator on the candle glue. Remember, the midpoint on your fascinator must be on that spot you marked out. That's where your candle glue is, if you want your fascinator to sit perfectly, right? So we have just placed the fascinator on the Alice band, and that's how it looks now. Yeah, that's how it's turned out. It's beautiful and very easy to make. It's something you can make right in your home. You can get every of the item we use to make this fascinator in the market or off the internet. Yeah, so you can get them online, you can get them in store and make your fascinator yourself at home. Yeah, it's that easy to make. Okay, I hope you enjoy these videos. Let's know what you think in the comment section. Right, thanks for watching, guys. Bye.